This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
This place first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. They've been as hot as anyone. The win last week makes it 9 out of 10.
The results are hard to argue. If there's a team better suited for the postseason right now, I don't know who they are.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
Now here's the first carry for Amir Abdullah. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. To throw on second is Watson. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Galladay. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Watson on 3rd down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a 1st down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A 2nd down run for Abdullah. And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. The 1st-round pick, Jair Alexander, making the tackle.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Now Watson. This is a screen to Abdullah. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game. And
that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Now they're coming up on play number 8 of this opening drive, but they're looking at a 3rd and long.
Back 22! Back 22!
From the gun, here's Watson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
To be considered for the MVP award in the NFL, it's got to be a season of not just consistency, but spectacular consistency, and he's had it all the way through.
I think you're right. He's been as consistent, more consistent probably than anybody else as the numbers bear out. The social media chatter for the MVP races certainly start to ramp up. I know you and I have felt that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, he's in the pole position as we head down the stretch. Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
And on the ground they go with a running back. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he's going to get this to the 40-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago: 18 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, we know they've clinched a playoff spot, but there's plenty of football left to play, and I'm a proponent of continuing to do what you've done throughout the season, especially with teams that are heavy run teams, because if you throttle back too early, you lose the rhythm of the run game, not just with the runner, but with the offensive line as well.
Running game working, they'll stick with it on first down. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily what they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
First carry now for Jordan Howard. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 12 yards there as they move to James.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
They go play action here on first down. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. But it looked like a Packer. Yeah, a Packer was able to get this back, and they'll indeed keep possession.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
The first down play, to be frank, nothing short of awful, and now they have to deal with 2nd and very long. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. And the pressure gets to him again.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
Well, a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. A dump off for Abdullah. And down he'll go at the 25. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Watson. And that is incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
You're taken right on the 30. The 41-yard punt, 9 on the return, and it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, it's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that number 1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2nd quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
319. Here we go. 58.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one down to about the 27.
Let's go, come on.
Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
No.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now Rodgers. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And it's incomplete, almost intercepted. He had a great shot at picking that off in the end zone. It brings up 4th down.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the 1st down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal. So
maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
And Detroit getting set to go now. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They'll run again. This time it's a della. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative. But you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
3rd and long. It's Watson. And got his man complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd. Nothing conservative about that play call. You said earlier in the quarter you wanted to see them open things up, maybe take some shots downfield. There you go.
Yeah, and that one was successful. But even if they're not successful, when you take those shots downfield, they've got to back off a little bit, loosen up a little bit on defense, and give you a little bit more room if you want to run the football.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 10 more there and another 1st down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. Working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, here's Watson. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if I'm going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot for the last couple of games.
Yeah, quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So a decent game,
still
but
3rd
all
down.
for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Watson. They'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be 4th down.
They didn't get the 1st down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the 1st. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon, and think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
319!
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Ben Gideon in on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Rodgers to throw on second down. Uncorks one for... He's got him in. Complete. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 49 yards.
Tell the truth, partner. You didn't think he was coming down with that one, did you? Come on, tell me the truth.
No, I didn't. I'll tell you what, though. A one-handed grab of that length. Talk about giving your team a little juice.
Oh, big time. I mean, everyone's going to be excited about that one, whether you're on the field or not. It permeates its way through the entire team, and I can't wait to see what they do on the next down.
And they'll run it here. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Footing's definitely going to be an issue because it's tough to make those quick cuts that you're used to making on a soggy track. In fact, a Hall of Fame runner once told me, cut on your heels in this type of weather. Gives you better balance.
319, 158.
On second down, here's Rodgers. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. Now on third down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. Detroit was up for the challenge through the air. They force a fourth down. And this one is no good. He missed it. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. So they'll come away with nothing here. A disappointing result even on a day like this.
And as a kicker in the rain, you've got to slow things down a little bit. Give your holder an extra half second to make sure everything's secure. And here, he might have rushed this one a little, and it winds up no good.
Going right side here, and that's complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. On 1st and 10, Watson. It's a loss of 10 yards on the play. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. To throw is Watson. Looking to throw on second down. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant.
Timeout defense.
Now the Packers going to take another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Now it's Watson, and this is going to be incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
Here's Sam Kirk now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And he uncorks a beauty, best of the day. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Now Corey Davis and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
Well, I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he stays on this pace, he's got a shot at it. But he needs a big game in there, right, to make sure that he gets it. So you know that during the week, in practice, And look, he asks for the ball all the time anyway. He's really going to ask for the ball and let his quarterback know he's open.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
Rodgers now on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Rodgers now on first down. Now look out, Rodgers.
Non ci credo, non ci credo, non è possibile.
Lions have recovered. Holding on to the football becoming a little bit of an issue. He had 2 fumbles last week, remember.
I played for a guy that used to talk all the time about creating turbulence in the pocket, making the quarterback jumpy, make him antsy, keep getting after him a little bit, and make sure he thinks about holding on to the ball because you're going after him.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing again is Watson. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Trent Taylor there. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
To throw is Watson. To the right and complete to Galladay. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
To throw on second down, Rodgers. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Flush to his right. Able to get away. Eluding the pressure. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works.
319. Wide right.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with third down now looming. And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On first down, Rodgers. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Chandler Jones in there to get him. And that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Oh, I can't hang on to it. Almost intercepted. They would have loved the first pick of the game there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return, and the Lions will take over. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
On first down, Watson. He goes underneath to Abdullah. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. And they went empty backfield, and because of that, nobody was there to pick up the blitz.
And you know that offenses, when they go to the empty backfield, they have different things designed on every play to try to account for things. But what people often forget, defense is audible as well. And a lot of times they see an empty backfield, they audible right into a blitzing situation.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Right back to him on first down. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
Uncorks one for Davis. And this is caught at the 20. It's a big play that time for the Packers. 44 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person is on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. And that's what's happening to the defense right now because the offense is on his toes and punching. And there's another first down run right there.
Box it, box it, box it, box it. Show it.
On first and goal, Howard. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Jordan Howard, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to cash in for 6. And there you go, nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
To throw on second is Watson. Over the middle, it's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Making the stop there, Daniil Hunter.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying under double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Back now at Lambeau. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Watson, throwing again. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side. And he's got this down to the 35. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Now a first down throw. Watson finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll bring up a second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight end.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. Daniil Hunter in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. Watson throwing on 3rd and long. And he's going to go down again. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that is sack number 15 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. Now a play fake here on first down. Escaping the pressure right. Throw right side caught by Davis. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
They go play action here on first down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face
Automatic
mask.
first down.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they march off another 15 against your squad.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he rifles one incomplete. Pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
The Packers on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is third down and 12.
319.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line. So out now come the Lions. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Back to the air. Watson on second down. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. They'll get 5 on the dump-off there, and that'll lead to a third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good. And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it. From the gun on third, Watson. And that is incomplete. Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball. And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10. Now Corey Davis and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust. And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along? Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it? I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice game. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly. Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We've got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over. This is Howard on second down. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call.
Holding offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position. Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
Let's go, come on.
Now Rodgers throwing on second down. And this one's incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
Yeah, really turned it loose, didn't he? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Now he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at a 4th down now as they try to hold on to this lead for dear life. And Catanzaro's kick is right through, and they double their lead, pushing it up now to 12-6. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And Detroit getting set to go now. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. He's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
It makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. This is 3rd and 10.
Flag 22. Flag 22.
He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield and nearly intercepted there. That would have been ball game if he had clinched it and caught it. Instead, it gives him one more chance here on 4th down. This defense looking impenetrable now. 3 straight incompletions. They're giving him nowhere to go with the football. Maybe a little frustrated back there.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. When you've missed on 3 straight, there's going to be some frustration. But now he's got to make sure that that frustration is temporary, not lingering. Big throw coming up.
Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. So now let's look at the situation. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining. So barring a 1st down, they could conceivably get the ball back.
So now it's all about defense and stopping the clock. Don't give up any yardage, right? Use your timeouts. And your offense always practices going downfield without timeouts. You know, those 2-minute drills, most of them are run in practice without the benefit of timeouts and want to make it as tough a situation as possible. They're in it right now.
Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll give to Howard, and he'll take this one down near the 15. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. On the sneak, Rodgers. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the 1st. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And they take a knee. Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee.
I don't know about you, partner, but watching them take the knee there and finish this one off, I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow. This was one bruising affair. Low scoring, but my kind of football.
Not a work of art, but maybe in your world, a little bit of a work of art. You like the defensive side.
I thought it was pretty. I can't help myself. I thought it was pretty.
And it ends in a kneel down as the clock rolls down to zeros. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable